And welcome to the Bulloch Sports Report. I'm Josh Aubrey. Plenty to get to in this week's show. It was National Signing Day this past Wednesday. We have some area high school athletes who have decided where they will be taking their talents to the next level, as well as the Georgia Southern Eagles. They held their signing day. We'll hear from Clay Helton, especially about the number of transfers that are coming in through the transfer portal coming up in just a bit. We'll hear from him. As far as area high school basketball, you have the Statesboro Blue Devils wrapping up the regular season on the boys' side, earning the number 2 seed in this week's region tournament. They knocked off Bradwell, who had previously been unbeaten in region play. This was their home finale and regular season finale, where they ended up winning by 7. Unfortunately for the girls, they fell to Bradwell and they did not qualify for the upcoming region tournament. This Bulloch Academy Gators were swept at home by St. Andrews, and they'll begin their region tournament next week at Pinewood. The Portal Panthers, big win on the road at Savannah High at the buzzer. We also have some highlights from their doubleheader from this past week at home, and we'll get to that in just a bit against Metter. Then also the Southeast Bulloch Yellow Jackets regular season coming to a close. They were swept at home over the weekend as well. And as for the Georgia Southern men's and women's basketball teams, the women continued their win streak and the guys lost another tough one at home. We'll send you out for some highlights of that, all that and more coming up on the Bulloch Sports Report. And a reminder before we go to break, hopefully you'll never be in an accident, but if so, please give our friends at the Sullivan Law Firm a call, 912-489-8888, or online at thesullivanlawfirm.com. Northside Drive behind Remax Eagle Creek Realty.
Pojo's Country Store is proud to support all Bulloch County and surrounding area athletics. We've been fueling up for almost 20 years, with 3 locations in Statesboro and locations in Sylvania, Wadley, and Bagsley. Pojo's Country Stores is the real MVP. And a special shout out to our Bulloch Academy Gators. Go get them.
Well, the Georgia Southern football team trying to fill some gaps from players that graduated as well as some players that left through the transfer portal. They've replaced them with some fairly highly sought out players through the transfer portal as well as some high school players. We had a chance to talk with head coach Clay Helton about how he felt overall the Eagles did for their 2026 signing class.
You build your staff first, and then you put the pieces of the puzzle around that staff. And there were some major needs. You know, obviously having a large senior class of 25 kids that were leaving us, plus probably our first hit of attrition. As teams have success, individuals have success, and that's the byproduct, and had a little bit of attrition with the transfer portal this year. So ended up bringing 44 newcomers on to this 35 spring entries, 9 other freshmen that are going to be a part over the summer. We continue doing our high school, making high school a huge point of emphasis for us. That's 102 high school players that we've signed in our 4 years here, 70 of them from the great state of Georgia. We continued that this year and got some important needs filled. You know, anytime that you lose the 5 skill players that you lost with Marcus and Cam and Dalen Cobb and OJ and Amon Green, we really needed to rebuild that skill group up. And I thought we did that. I thought we did that not only in the receiver room. You look at the 7 newcomers that are coming in this spring, a lot of size, 6 foot plus men, and some retention that happened there too, to keep a Josh Dallas, to keep a River Helms, to be a part of that. That was huge for us. Offensive line wise, I think 2 things happened for us. Obviously, having an older group and losing some to eligibility and some to transfer. We're really fortunate because we had built up that backup with that backup offensive line that are now all redshirt sophomores are ready to go. But we brought in some newcomers too, 3 additional newcomers with Mo Clipper, Cole Norrid, and Josh Raymond to be able to help out there. Defensively, I thought it really was the edge that we did a really nice job of being able to, the edge players to be able to, not only retain, I think about keeping a Kebaseka and Eli Anders, Anuche, and MJ Stroud, one of the 7 first-team all-conference players that actually stayed within conference, was really important. But then, obviously you bring in Anthony Bynum and Festus Davies. I thought those were huge gets. You lose a Brandon Harrington that not only had that C on his chest, but also had a lot of production, and to be able to bring Diego Avilas and Rashawn Miles, I thought was ultra important. So really like this group. It's got a good breakdown, a good mix of both young high school freshmen as well as transfers at some needed positions. Now it's about establishing our culture over the winter program and getting ready to start spring ball on March 3rd.
Being able to bring back a guy like Josh, to bring back Chance, to go out and get guys like Cam Michael and Max, it seems like you've got a lot of talent coming in, and it seems like your NIL money must be in a good spot for you to be able to keep and to get some of these guys.
Yeah, Josh, I can't thank our administration enough. Dr. Marrero, Chris Davis, as well as the donors. We almost went up 4 times the amount of money that we've had in the past, and I appreciate the resources so much. Our football program appreciate those resources from each individual group. Our donors stepped up, our administration stepped up. Chris Davis has been so proactive in this realm, and now you see, and I credit, you really see the type of guys that it's really important for them to be on the field and produce tape. There's a lot of money being out there in college football right now, but these guys chose what was best for them. I think Cam Brown was such a great example last year of being able to come here and be able to produce staggering numbers and turn down a lot of money to be able to have that type of experience and build that type of resume. And I think when you have that, it really shined with a Max, with a Cam, with some guys that, were looking at Power 4 for maybe 4 times, 6 times the money. And they said, you know what, this is a great place here. We can win here, and we can produce great numbers here within these systems. And because of that, that's why those men are here.
Well, on the college hardwood, the Georgia Southern men and women both in action. Let's send you out for some highlights from the guys from over at the Hill Wednesday night. Georgia Southern back at the Hill for a Sunbelt matchup with Texas State. First half action, and Spud Webb from NBA three-point range as he hits this one. Later, Kari Dunn driving in. He gets this one to fall. He'd finish with 20 points, leading the Eagles. The Bobcats answering as DJ Hall goes in for 2 of his 16. The Eagles right back. Dunn launches the 3. The Eagles 7 from 23 from deep, though. Next, Dwayne Williams driving in. He gets this one to go off the glass as we go to the half with the Eagles leading by 1. In the second half, Texas State controlling the glass. They would out-rebound the Eagles 40-25. Georgia Southern keeping it close as Webb drives in and gets the reverse. He'd finish with 16 points. Texas State right back as Cadden Gums goes in for the hoop and the foul. Texas State up by 5. The Eagles try and respond. Webb going strong to the basket. Finishes with the left hand, and then the nice spin move by Nakavion White. But Texas State proving to be too much on this night. Another rebound and putback, and they'd go on to win 77-71 the final. Stay with us. High school action coming up next. Gerard Pre-Owned of Statesboro voted best place to buy a pre-owned vehicle 12 years running. 3 decades of experience in serving our community. Locally owned and operated, every vehicle undergoes rigorous multi-point inspections and thorough reconditioning. Flexible financing for all credit types, whether you're starting fresh or building credit, they've got you covered. Experience the Girard difference today. 2330 Northside Drive West in Statesboro. The Bulloch Sports Report is brought to you in part thanks to Morris Bank, proud sponsor of our Player of the Week segment. Girard Pre-Owned of Statesboro voted best place to buy a pre-owned vehicle 12 years running. 3 decades of experience in serving our community. Locally owned and operated, every vehicle undergoes rigorous multi-point inspections and thorough reconditioning. Flexible financing for all credit types, whether you're starting fresh or building credit, they've got you covered. Experience the Girard difference today. 2330 Northside Drive West in Statesboro. The Bulloch Sports Report is brought to you in part thanks to Morris Bank, proud sponsor of our Player of the Week segment. National Signing Day was Wednesday. We had a couple of student athletes over at Statesboro High who were able to sign official letters of intent. Let's send you out for some of their ceremony.
I found out about the school just because it was like last year. I had found out about them last year. Then I sent an email to the DB coach, but they didn't respond. So I was just sitting there waiting. You know, the recruiting process takes time, so I just sat there and waited. And a year later, after the football season over with, he contacted me. So he wanted me to say I was going to be a big factor to the team. And I showed him what I can do, sent film, and he just sent me an offer. And from that day then, I wanted to go there because it seems like the coaching staff very good, and it just all around just great. I seen the campus, I looked at it around a little bit. Good, very good program. Track, I might try to run a little track too. The track program good, but all around just it seemed like a very good team.
You know, I'm very thankful and blessed for this opportunity, of course. I'm very excited to cheer in Kansas. You know, it's different right there and like it's different right there here in Statesboro. I'm very excited, and I'm so ready to cheer. Their environment was good. You know, I had offers from Spelman and other places, but it was something about their environment and something about like their coach, and they were very hard on me and pushing on me, and it was very good.
A trio of Bulloch Academy Gators also signed. We'll let you know how that went next week. As for area high school basketball, let's begin with over at Statesboro High. The Blue Devils were hosting Bradwell, trying to become the first team to knock the Tigers off in region play this year. Also over at Portal, the Panthers and Meadow Tigers going head-to-head, and the Bulloch Academy Gators wrapped up their regular season at home with a doubleheader against St. Andrews. The Statesboro Blue Devils wrapping up the regular season, hosting Bradwell. The Lady Tigers in control. Destiny McLemore inside for 2. Statesboro will try to answer on the other end. Kennedy Myers hitting the glass and getting the putback, but the Tigers proving to be just too much on this night. Nice ball movement, and they'd go on to win this one 56-29. We move over to the boys' game. Statesboro taking on Bradwell, the Tigers without a loss in the region, but the Blue Devils on top here. Charles Harris with a nice move inside as he gets this one to go. Later, Jacaden Cone pulling up from NBA range for the three-pointer. Bradwell answering from up top. Fortune Hicks hits the 3. The Blue Devils right back, though, as they go inside. And a nice basket off the glass from Beckham Girard. Statesboro up by 3 as we go to the fourth quarter. Cone driving in for the hoop and the foul. Statesboro up by 4 later. Up 2. Zacavion Griffin with the tough 2. The Blue Devils with the block on the other end, but Jalen Sweat there for the rebound and putback, cutting the lead to 1. Back comes Statesboro. Cone off the mark. Harris the rebound, and the putback. Sweat later starts to heat up as he makes a couple of lefty hook shots, but Harris once again going strong to the basket for two. And then Cone hitting for two of his 30 points in the game to lead all scorers. Gerard going strong to the basket here for the bucket. And finally, Cone knifing his way inside as the Blue Devils go on for the victory, 69-58. The Bulloch Academy Gators wrapping up their regular season at home, hosting St. Andrews. Second half action. Emery Lynn on the move. She gets this one to go. Next up, the Gators going inside. Adley Davis getting the bucket here off the glass. The Gators down, but coming back. Davis gets another one to go. And then off the inbounds, Johnny Nutting will get the friendly roll here to cut the lead to 6, but St. Andrews proving to be too much as they would go on to win by a final score of 63-49. To the boys game we go, a tall task ahead. The Gators taking on unbeaten region St. Andrews, but they jump out to an early lead. A.K. Watkins in traffic with the bucket. Next up, Connor Perry going in off the steal for the layup. And then another steal. And this time, J.B. Roach dials up the three-pointer, and it's 9-0 to open the game for the Gators. Next, on the transition, Camden Shingler goes in for the basket. And then this one off the mark, but Watkins corrals it and puts in the rebound and the bucket. St. Andrews answering moments later as they start to get hot. Chase Brown hits the three-pointer. The Gators try and respond. Watkins somehow will get this one to fall. Gators by 7, and then outside we go. Edward Nagin hits the three, but St. Andrews right back off the steal. Mortiz Amon goes up for the dunk. The Gators right back. J.B. Roach with the three as they take a 3-point lead. The Gators would trail, though, by 2 at the half. Second half action. Connor Perry fakes this from outside and then hits the pull-up jumper. And then Roach, the rebound and the putback. Later, Roach with another three. He'd finish with 17 points. And then inside we go. A nice spin move coming up by Perry, who would have 14 points. But St. Andrews proving to be too much as they go on to win this one by a final score of 76-61. And that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. We thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.